Waitress stands up for a veteran. Seconds later, the whole restaurant gasps. The lunchtime rush at Millie's diner was at its peak. The air buzzed with lively chatter, the rhythmic clatter of silverware, and the sizzling sounds from the hot grill. Waitresses weaved through the maze of tables, balancing trays and refilling coffee cups. Amidst the organized chaos, Emily Carter moved with practiced precision, greeting regulars, taking orders, and flashing warm smiles. She had worked at this small-town diner for years, but today was different. Today was a day she would never forget. By the large window, an elderly man sat alone, his back straight and his frame frail but dignified. His silver hair peeked out from under a faded military cap, the words Vietnam veteran embroidered across it. The cap looked well-worn, much like his weathered hands, which trembled slightly as he flipped through the menu. His blue eyes scanned the items carefully, as if every cent counted. Emily noticed him the moment he walked in. She always had a soft spot for veterans. Her grandfather had served, and she grew up hearing stories of bravery and sacrifice. She also knew how often those sacrifices were overlooked, forgotten by the very people they had fought to protect. As she made her way toward his table, her ears caught murmurs from a booth nearby. The voices were low, but the words hit like a slap. "Why is he even here?" a man in a sharp suit muttered under his breath. "Probably looking for a handout," his friend scoffed, barely suppressing a chuckle. Emily's grip on her notepad tightened. "Bet he's going to ask for a veteran's discount, like he owns the place." She swallowed hard, forcing herself to stay composed. The ignorance, the lack of respect, it was nothing new, but that didn't make it sting any less. She had seen it before, and she was sick of it. Reaching the veteran's table, she pushed a warm smile onto her face. "Good afternoon, sir. Can I get you something to drink?" The old man looked up, his tired blue eyes meeting hers. There was kindness in them, but also something else, weariness. A lifetime of experiences that most could never understand. "Just a coffee, miss," he said softly. Then, hesitating, he added, "And what's the cheapest thing on the menu?" Emily felt her heart tighten. She recognized that tone. The careful hesitation. The quiet dignity of someone who refused to ask for more than they could afford. Before she could respond, a scoffing voice interrupted from the next table. "Cheapest thing? Ha! Maybe they should start charging for water." That was it. Emily turned, her usually gentle eyes flashing with something sharper. She took a step toward the suited man, her voice steady but laced with unmistakable firmness. "Sir, I think you dropped something." The man frowned, confused. "What?" She held his gaze, unwavering. "Your respect." Silence. The restaurant, once filled with the hum of conversation, went dead quiet. Forks paused midair. Coffee cups hovered just inches from lips. The smug grin on the suited man's face vanished, replaced by an uncomfortable stiffness. His friend cleared his throat and shifted in his seat. Emily didn't stop there. She straightened her shoulders, her voice carrying through the diner. "This man sitting here? He wore a uniform and put his life on the line for people he never even met, including you. The least we can do is show a little gratitude." The weight of her words settled over the room like a heavy blanket. And then, something unexpected happened. A burly truck driver sitting at the counter set down his mug with a decisive clink. He stood up, pulling his wallet from his pocket. "Put his meal on my tab." A woman in scrubs, likely a nurse coming off a long shift, spoke up next. "Mine too. And get him a slice of pie while you're at it." Another voice joined in. "Make it a full meal. He deserves it." One by one, people throughout the diner started stepping forward. An older couple near the entrance pitched in for dessert. A teenage boy in a fast food uniform dug into his pockets, pulling out a few crumpled bills. Even a young mother balancing a baby on her hip reached into her purse. The veteran's hands trembled again, but this time, it wasn't from age. It was from overwhelming emotion. His lips parted, as if he wanted to say something, but no words came out. Emily placed a gentle hand over his, squeezing it reassuringly. "Sir, your meal is taken care of. But more importantly, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for your service." A second of silence. Then, the entire restaurant erupted into applause. The suited man, now red-faced and visibly uncomfortable, muttered something under his breath. He hastily threw some cash on his table and slipped out the door, avoiding eye contact as he left. Emily turned back to the veteran, who wiped at his eyes and chuckled softly. "You didn't have to do that, young lady." She smiled. "Yes, we did. And I'd do it again." As she walked back to the counter to place his order, something had shifted in the air. The diner felt warmer, lighter. People exchanged smiles, nodding at one another in quiet understanding. One small act of kindness had turned an ordinary lunch into something unforgettable. And for the rest of the day, the world felt just a little bit kinder.